Welcome everyone to the FTC's first general body meeting of the spring semester. Welcome to those of you returning and also the new faces we have in the crowd. This general body meeting will be discussing mainly Spark STEM Fest and the 2024 STC Summit, which are two great opportunities we have coming up for this spring semester. So the content of this meeting, I'll give a quick introduction to FTC since we do have some new faces with us tonight. We'll talk about some upcoming events, and then we'll talk about the STEM Fest and the Summit. So a little bit about us. Future Technical Communicators, or FTC, is an RSO here at UCF. We're dedicated to helping our members pursue careers in technical communication. So that means we collaborate to master the skills we will need once we graduate to create any kind of documentation for technical processes. So this looks like mastering a lot of different kinds of documentation. In those efforts, we are also partnered with the Society of Technical Communication, STC, which is a professional organization of technical communicators. So kind of in regards to that partnership, we have one of our best aspects of our partnership with STC, specifically STC Florida, coming up later this month, our annual STC FTC joint meeting. This is an annual meeting. It's one of our best meetings of the year, and it is hybrid this year. So January 25th, we will have a networking session, which is pretty valuable because we do have professionals from the STC, the professional organization, joining us, and of course students with FTC. A couple professors even come and join often. So you really do get a lot of good opportunities to network. And then the second part is a panel discussion. The panel topic and panelists will be released shortly, but we always make sure that the panel is attuned to a topic that students and new professionals will find interesting and useful. And we have a very good one in the works, if I do say so myself. So yeah, looking forward to that on the 25th. And then getting into the, and thank you for posting those links, John. Definitely check those out. So getting into the meat and potatoes of our presentation. So first we'll talk about Spark STEM Fest, which is a STEM Fest that I believe this will be our 4th year volunteering, if I'm not mistaken. But first, what is it? So Spark STEM Fest is an annual 4-day-long event hosted by the Orlando Science Center. It's a series of STEM-related workshops and presentations, really geared to get the public, and especially kids, interested in STEM and giving them that knowledge that they may not have access to. So our contribution to the Spark STEM Fest, we will create a presentation. We always make one focus on introducing the field of technical communication to younger students, mainly middle and high school, because technical communication is one of those fields that isn't really marketed, that not a lot of people know about until they may get exposed to it by some chance event. So we definitely want to increase the public's exposure to this field. So in the past, we make the presentation about that. We always change it up a bit, add new interactive activities. The presentation will look a little bit different this year because the Orlando Science Center want things to look a little different for these presentations. But that's the nitty-gritty. It's still going to be a great presentation. So you can either volunteer to prepare the materials, so the presentation and any promotional materials we want to make about the club or technical communication in general. You can also volunteer to present at the event, or you can do both. So why should you get involved? So this experience gets our volunteers valuable tech writing and leadership experience, networking opportunities, as well as simply a fun time at a great place. The Orlando Science Center is definitely a very interesting place. So at this point, I will turn it over to the speakers we have tonight. These speakers that you will hear from have participated in the past with Spark STEM Fest, and when we get to it later, the summit. And so they're here to kind of share their experiences and what it was like. So I will turn it over to whichever speaker would like to go first for the STEM Fest.
Hi. I would like to go. So that's okay, John. Um, uh, Hi everyone. My name is Joy, and I would say that volunteering at last year's Spark STEM Fest was a really rewarding experience. And we began the process by brainstorming our event ideas as a group virtually, followed by breaking into groups to work on individual materials for it, including a flyer, a slideshow presentation, and a website introducing technical communication to students, which we hyperlinked onto our presentation and included as a QR code for an interactive element, which was really fun. And this was done both in real time and asynchronously. And finally, after everything, we presented at the Spark STEM Fest for 4 sessions throughout 2 days. And what stuck with me from the experience was not only how excited the students were to learn about TechCom, but also how their guardians and adults of all ages who dropped by the event were too. I remember that there was someone who was volunteering on the first day at the STEM Fest. He went to the classroom which we were presenting at shortly after our second session was completed, and he said that he wished that he was able to attend it and learn more about TechCom as a new avenue for his career. And we actually gave him a flyer to go, and that was a really cool experience to hear. To Yeah, and through this experience, you get to hone in on how to work collaboratively with your peers to create a presentation that is not only informative but immersive as well. And there's really something for everyone, as Chantel said, to collaborate on in any capacity that they can.
Great, thank you, Joy.
And yeah, I can add on to that. So yeah, for everyone who's interested in, well, first off, in FTC in general, super glad to be having this meeting and talking about opportunities. And it's time to talk. But for these upcoming Spark STEM Fest, or this upcoming Spark STEM Fest volunteer opportunity, it's a really great one. So it has been one that we've been doing for about 4 years now. We started in the pandemic. Because it wasn't planned to be in the pandemic, but started 2020. Us as a club were like, let's do this volunteering thing. Pandemic happened, but thankfully there was an online version. And then each year afterward, we've been doing them in person, like 2021, last year, or this past summer is when we did. Oh no, it was 2021 mid-pandemic. But last year we did a great group one with all the pictures here. So really good time, both as an opportunity to work on things together as a team, but also just develop your tech common leadership skills too. So not only a great, development opportunity, but also just a fun bonding experience, especially if you're in the area and you don't even have to, it's not something that is very much like taxing. Just if you want to participate, whether you want to say, oh, I want to help with the presentation and just adding in some slides or just adding in, doing a little bit of research and helping put things together so that we can talk about TechCom with a younger audience, just so we can put on a good show pretty much. You can help in that way. Or if you want to be a help promotions person, like, oh, I want to design some graphics, help with promoting this, or even if you want to, just help be in the room and help with setup, like, oh, I'll be the person who helps print things or helps manage the people in the room. Yeah, pretty much anything that you might want to do. There's no minimum or maximum. And it's just a fun time overall. Like if you want to be on the volunteer team, yeah, there's even if it's online too. If you're online or from far away, we do planning sessions online for it too. So you don't have to be someone who goes in person to the event. You can always just pitch in just saying, oh, I want to hop into a call and help out the team as they prepare these things. You can do that too. So all that to say, very easy, and we encourage you to hop in on the team and help how you can for, sharpening up your skills and just joining the team bonding experience. And also just teaching the world about TechCom, even in this little slice that we have over at the Orlando Science Center. And, past times we've had, younger students come in like from grade school, some of their parents come in too. And of course, crowd size varies and all that, but the important thing is just really the important thing is just like putting it together and just having that deliverable too. Just being like, okay, I helped out or like help present this presentation, or we, as Joy and Chantal mentioned earlier, just the materials that we make, like packets or, a mini website, just being able to say, oh, I pitched into that and we brought it to this event. That's a portfolio item right there. Or something that you can share with people who ask like, oh, what's TechCom about? You can be like, well, I helped make this. Here you go, and promote FTC along the way. But yeah, great opportunity with great team that you're always welcome to join in, whether small or big ways. And you get good experience out of it just by saying that you want to join in. And yeah, the Orlando Science Center is cool if you are able to go. Volunteers go for free, so that as well. But yeah, really great opportunity all around.
Yeah, I really like your insights. I know for me, I had a scheduling conflict, so I couldn't go and present. But I helped create the materials. And I really liked the team writing aspect because you're developing all of these, the presentation and the promotional products with everyone else. And as technical writers, we're team writing most of the time. And we don't always get the most practice doing that sort of process as a team. So I found that experience specifically very valuable. And kind of like John was saying, this is something where it's very much you choose the ways you're involved and how much you're involved. So it can really be tailored to the time you have, the where you are locationally, all of that. So yeah, a great experience. So we can definitely answer any questions at the end. But for right now, I do want to move on to the second opportunity that we're talking about tonight. So that's there you go. My presentation did cooperate with me. So the second one that we're talking about tonight is the STC Summit. So the STC Summit is an annual conference hosted by STC, that professional organization we talked about at the beginning, which is an international, it's international actually, technical communication organization. So the summit hosts many informative and engaging workshops and presentations from all across the field of technical communication. The 2024 summit will take place at Bloomington, Minnesota, which is near Minneapolis, and will take place May 17th through the 19th. So what is attending like? So at the summit, you get to pick and choose the workshops you want to go to. They have several. You couldn't go to all of them, but they have several for you to choose from. So you can really tailor your experience to the topics and aspects of technical communication you're most curious about. So you attend workshops, you have amazing opportunities to network with professionals from across the country, and also from across the globe. I went last year and I met a professional from Australia. Uh, Definitely would not have met him in person any other way. And also explore the city. We definitely try, of course, taking full advantage of the professional conference, but also finding a little bit of time to get out and explore what the city has to offer. So that is the sort of what you'll do at the summit, what attending the summit is like. As far as logistics and finances, this is attendees do go for a reduced price. So students get free registration to the conference. You do have to become a registered STC member, and that is a fee, but the registration to the conference itself is free for students. And that is without that free registration. Over $100, it can get quite up there. So you get that for free, and then we work with student government to get most, if not all, of our hotel fees covered. It does differ with the hotel rates and all of that. And then we will be working on fundraising opportunities for later in the semester, so even more of a reduced price there. And then I see a question in the chat. I'll go ahead and answer it now. So Leela is asking, do we coordinate flights? I can travel alone, but would prefer not to. So you definitely won't be traveling alone. We will travel together. The transportation will be an out-of-pocket cost, but we'll buy everything together so that we're the same flight, seats next to each other, that whole thing. So definitely not traveling alone. So why should you consider attending? Gain more technical communication knowledge. Like I said, there's a wide variety of workshops. So if there are things in your classes that you haven't been able to explore, or just other, I went to sessions that I hadn't really ever considered as part of TechCom before I looked at the workshop schedule. So it's a great way to broaden your knowledge, also broaden your network, explore a new city, make memories. All of these pictures are from on this slide, are from the last summit, which was in Atlanta. And as you can tell, it was a great bonding experience. We all became fast friends, got to explore the city, see the aquarium, kind of goof off and have a funny photo there at the conference with all of us like that. All of that for a reduced or low out-of-pocket cost. So before I turn it over to our speakers, I will answer this question. Does the summit host any hybrid presentations or workshops? Not to my knowledge. I can definitely double check as they give us more information about this current conference, but to my knowledge, it is all in person. But with that, I will turn it over to our speakers.
All right, awesome. And yeah, I can pitch into the summit experience. And yeah, to follow up as well, for any hybrid presentations or workshops, the summit itself and the days of the conference, all of that is in person. But our local STC Florida chapter and other ones too, after the summit, they usually offer like a recap meeting, or maybe like a month or two after, they gather everyone who went from the group and they deliver what they learned and everything like that. And yeah, so from our chapter or from some other STC groups, they'll also be doing that. So yeah. And in terms of, why to consider attending, for just to go over the slide in general, yeah, it's a fantastic experience. Honestly, I would say career defining, friendship making, as Chantal said, even this connection bringing, you never know. I won't say like you never know who you'll meet, but at the same time, like you never know who specifically you meet, but you meet a lot of great professionals, fellow students even, if you go in to the meeting as, or if you go into the group as a volunteer. If you're a current student, and you have an SEC student membership, you sign up to volunteer and you get that reduced, uh, the cost reduction and all that good stuff. Um, Volunteers get to meet fellow students, and it's a great time because of that. You kind of join a volunteer group. Like, once you arrive at the conference, you join a, student volunteer team, and you get placed in different areas to help out. All pretty low stake stuff. But, the volunteer coordinator, if she's going to be the same one, is super great to meet and talk to as well. So, yeah, all that being said, just going as in terms of just having a trip, great experience. But beyond that, even more so, going for the sake of learning and meeting people, meeting professionals, going to just the amount of different events and things to learn throughout each day. Each day has probably, I'd say like 10 to 20 different presentations you can go to within the span of, a workday period. Several going on at the same time. So it's like a problem of, too many things to have. That's one thing that it was funny last time that we went, we had a day where we just sat down, looked at our schedules, like blew it up onto the TV, and we're like, what do we want to go to? There's so much fun stuff, so many cool things to learn. So yeah, throughout each of the days, there's tons of great meetings and discussions, opportunities, and none of them are super long too. They're all about like around an hour length. So you can go to one, hop into another one, or even take a break for an hour and then keep hopping into them. Especially if you want to pair up with, friends who you went on the trip with. So even if it's a big conference, you never really get lost in it because you're going with a group if you're going with FTC. So that makes the conference experience twice as fun, pretty much. So the long story short, yeah, so many learning opportunities going on the trip. Lots of bonding experiences of just meeting fellow students and fellow people just on, fellow future technical communicators or current technical communicators. Those of us who are in the field or want to meet people who go there and are also professionals. You meet great technical communicators far and wide. And you get to say that you went on a cool trip to a fun place and got to do fun group things too. So all very much worth it. And yeah, the trip, um, the conference cost, especially when it's reduced when you go with FTC, if you're a student member and you meet those qualifications and all that, pretty much being a current student and, signing up for membership while being a student. Yeah, tons of benefits. Like for just a few $100 combined with, getting SEC student membership and then paying for transportation, that gets you a few days in a new state, learning lots of things, meeting new people, everything. Really unforgettable trip. And yeah, even if you've never gone on a big trip like this before, definitely worth it because of just how much there is to gain and also how much support you have too, both the support of, the travel group, like among FTC and the group that we put together that you go with, and who you meet up with over there. Last year, we met up with a couple people from the STC Florida chapter, like Bethany, who's the current president, and Alex, who's also on the leadership team in STC Florida. And we pretty much became one big old travel group and had some fun socials after the main events happened as well. Yeah, I'm rambling because it's fun and it's a great learning opportunity. But yeah, if you can go, I definitely recommend going.
Hi, I also went to Summit last year, and I feel like it's a great opportunity for a bunch of like different people of different education levels to learn things. For example, they have like a lot of sessions geared towards like how to earn certificates or how to network or how to do like really specific things like for people who are already working in the field. But then also if you're new to it, it was my first year attending Summit and it was my first year like learning about Techcom at all, and I still got a lot out of it. It was good to meet people in the field and kind of see like, oh, what do people actually do on a day-to-day basis? Like, what do their career paths look like? Things like that. So I think the experience is really fun regardless of your level and experience with TechCom. So I would recommend that anyone who wants to go, like, no matter like, oh, have I just started, or oh, am I actively working in the field? I think regardless, it'd be a good opportunity. And like John said, it's also just a lot of fun.
Yeah, like both of John and Delaney said, and kind of addressing the what did you guys learn at the summit question in the chat. It was a very good experience. Like Delaney said, there's a lot of very specific, here is how you do different things like networking and all of that. There's also more focused workshops about different aspects of the field. Like I attended one about technical communication and how it works in the occupational safety field. And there was one, actually more than one, a few about inclusive editing. There were also several about ChatGPT because that was definitely a big thing back in May. And how does it relate to technical communication? How is it going to change things? So definitely very varied in its offerings. Like Delaney was saying, no matter where you are, you can get something out of it and it be useful. Just for myself, the biggest thing there was networking. That was the thing that I was definitely most nervous about. The thought of going up to an actual, professional who has a job and being like, "Hi, my name is Chantal," and going down that route seemed very intimidating to me. But through the summit, I really saw, that kind of made me less nervous there, and I made a lot of great connections. And like John and Delaney said, amazing memories as well. So definitely, it was a very impactful experience. So moving along, um, so. And thank you, John, for putting the recap in the chat. So for these opportunities, how do you sign up? So for Spark STEM Fest, the deadline to sign up to create materials or present is January 12th, which is this Friday. The deadline to for the 2024 STC Summit is January 19th, the week after. For the summit, the max number for the group is 8 people at the moment. So first come, first serve. So for either of those, email us at ucf.ftc@gmail.com to sign up. I'll respond to your email so you know you're put on the list and all of that. And yeah, so that is kind of the end of the formal presentation.